So yeah, and then I had to like just dig myself out after she buried me there. It was fucking weird.
So like, did you do like the Uma Thurman Pai Mei? Like,
Oh no, it was like the classic zombie, like exactly.
Did they film your hand and use it in a movie?
I wish.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Two Geeks, One Mic, where we're getting the spooky tonight.
Spooky. It's spooky season. You
It
gotta
is
get
spooky.
spooky. And
it is spooky season.
it is a very special day for spooky season. It's Friday the 13th.
That's where the lightning effect is going to come.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll edit
and
editing later.
And stuff. Yeah. Yes. So it's Friday the freaking 13th of September, as they say in France. And we thought, because spooky season is coming up and we're gearing up for Comic-Con and we're gearing up for spooky season, we thought it'd be fun to talk about the spooky things that they do in movies.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like some spooky effects. That would be really fun. If you noticed our thumbnail, that was an effect. Eamon didn't actually cut off my head.
Yeah.
I know it looked real. It definitely wasn't a 5-minute Photoshop job. At all. Definitely was not.
Nope.
Just as a couple of updates, come to FanX.
Yes.
It's in Salt Lake City. It's at the end of September. We're going to be there. We're going to be there all 3 days. I'm probably going to just take that Thursday off. Probably going to take that Thursday off.
It's going to be an interesting Thursday.
Because you got work too, right?
So, I'm working the night, and then I'll be coming down that morning.
So, yeah, because you got to check in.
Well, so my plan is I'm driving down Wednesday, going to check us in, go to work that night, come back down after I'm off work. So I'll check into the hotel so you guys can stay in it on Wednesday night if you want to. And then I'll just come down Thursday morning after.
And then
I'll suffer through the day as a very tired boy.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be really tired.
Monsters.
Do you know what? Actually, what you could probably do, well, we can talk about that later. People don't need to hear our plan about getting our cosplays.
That's how they're going to stalk us.
Down there. But speaking of cosplays, do we have an official lineup for cosplays yet?
So we have
one, right? We're doing Jedi. Which follow along, because we're going to be working on our Jedi cosplay. We're going to be
crunch time.
We got everything for it.
Yeah, we just got to put it all together.
Need to put it together, and the big piece being the belt. We're going to be doing the leather belt. That's going to be the big sort of crowning achievement.
So, yeah, tune in for that. We'll be putting that up on TikTok, Instagram, all that. We're not going to do a show on it because it's con crunch time. We got less than 2 weeks now until this con kicks off. So we gotta do all that work behind the scenes. But we'll be posting it up. So please follow along. We bought a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, I love that. We bought a lot of stuff today.
Don't leave me in a store that I love by myself. Just saying. I went from going in to get like 2 simple things to $150 later.
It's that meme that says, "In my defense, I was left
unsupervised. 100%. I was left unsupervised." What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So we're gearing up for Comic-Con. That's gonna be great.
So much fun.
If you go to Comic-Con, Iris with the shade.
You know us. No, we're not.
No, we are not.
We'll be doing it in the hotel room the night prior.
That is exactly. No sleep. What?
Who needs
sleep?
Who needs sleep? You don't need that.
Sleep when you're dead.
Caffeine and
cocaine. Caffeine and rage and stress and PTSD.
What?
No, what I was going to say is, if you see us at FanX,
please approach.
You have to come say hi. You have to come get some wristbands for your wrists. We have many of them.
Oh, yes.
For you. So please to be coming and getting it. Now there is a caveat. You do have to start following us on YouTube to get a wristband. Sorry. You have to show it to us. You have to be already following us. Or you have to follow us to get a wristband.
Yeah. Show us. Or
nothing's free.
Log in. Yeah, nothing's free in this world. Log in and follow us on at least one of our platforms.
Exactly. Indeed.
But YouTube's a good one because that's where you can see us live every other Friday.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yes.
So Comic-Con's coming up. That's going to be great fun. That's
Super
going to be
excited.
exciting. We got some cosplay ideas coming up. We've got another cosplay project in the works. And I'm not going to get into please.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. We're going to do all the goodness. And I was going to go somewhere else, and I forgot where I was going to go with that. There was a segue. Oh, make sure you we have a Discord.
Yes,
we're
Discord now.
Pull up our I'm going to pull up our banner here so people know what where's our banner? Where's our banners? Hey, where'd they go? Oh, they're there. Helps if you click the right button.
Possibly.
Go to our website. All of our social media is there. We do have a Discord now as well.
Yes.
We're already having a lot of fun in there. Like there's already a couple people in there that are just
on
with
it.
Love it. On it like blue bonnet.
I need to be a better social media person.
Yeah, you do.
I'm so bad at it.
You suck.
I know.
Leave a comment below if you also think.
I didn't grow up with social media, guys, so. Stop. I didn't.
I know. It's just so like you're so much younger than me.
I know, and you're so much
I'm over here. I'm doing all the social medias, and you're like, guys, I can't. I was not raised that way. So good.
So dumb.
Love it. Anyways.
Yes, join the Discord. FanX. We're going to be hanging out, trying to see as many people as possible, meeting up with some of our other cosplay friends
That's
who are
right.
in the area. Mobadobu Cosplay.
Mobadobo
will be there.
You know what? We're going to talk to Thomas Estrada. I think he's going to be there.
Hey.
And we talked to him before. For those of you who followed the show way back in the day, we had interviewed Thomas Estrada. I think it was the last episode we did before we shut down on our hiatus. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know who Thomas Estrada is, he is a Disney animator. Well, he's a former Disney animator. Yep. He used to work for Disney. He did Prince of Egypt. He did Road to El Dorado. I think he worked on some Emperor's New Groove. Ooh. And he's a really fun guy. He's super awesome. Super talented artist. I actually ordered one of his shirts. So he's got a Herman Munster. You guys remember the TV show, The Munsters? Yeah. Herman was Frankenstein, the dad, and he's got one in a rat rod, like that style. I love it. And I ordered that. I had to. I saw that. I couldn't. Absolutely, I couldn't pass that up.
100%.
So I'm real excited about that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a whole bunch of people. There you go. Wasteland Sniper has it all under wraps. Wasteland, Emperor's New Groove is a criminally underrated movie. One of my favorites as well. They are a person of taste and culture.
Yes. So good. So good.
Let's see. So go to the website, right? It's scrolling down there.
Join everything.
Join all the different social medias because we're doing a lot of fun stuff on a bunch of different things.
And especially if you want to suggest something to us, our Discord is a place. There's so many places.
That's where I was going next. Because we're talking movies tonight, right? We're talking about movies. We're going to talk about the some of the particularly spooky movies. And one of the things we have is we have a channel in our Discord where where you can list out movies where we're going to watch them and react to them.
Yes.
Some of them I've seen, some of them Eamon has seen, some of them neither one of us have seen. But there's a lot of like very culturally significant movies that have really influenced kids that grew up in the 80s and the 90s.
Those long cult following movies.
Yeah. And Eamon had missed out on a lot of those, and I had missed out on some of those.
Yep.
Yes, Iris just blew the lid off of the entire struggle with Discord. Look, I'm also in a million Discord servers, and I know how it feels asking you to jump into another one. But I promise we're going to have fun in there. I promise we're going to have fun.
Oh, so much fun.
But these things. So what we're going to be doing is reacting to the movie,
Yep.
doing a video about it, and then throwing it up on the YouTubules for all the fun. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. And so if there's like a movie that you saw that nobody else has heard of, that everybody needs to watch, and we haven't seen it, like absolutely throw it into the Discord. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's a lot of Discords, Iris. Well done. Like you win a prize. Like next time we
Congratulations.
see you, wristband is all yours.
Mm.
It's going to be amazing. No, there's really great movies in there from the 80s, like The Last Starfighter's in there, which is one you've not seen.
Nope.
Robot Jocks was one. It wasn't on the list because I just made you watch it. It was the beginning of that sort of the birthing of this.
Yeah, Robot
segment.
Jocks. Oh my
But
gosh.
I made you watch Robot Jocks.
The only thing I loved about it was I was like, oh, so this is where Gundam came from.
What it was because Gundam was an anime, way back in the day.
Someone
and this
wanted
was the
a real
American movie theme going, hey, we can make a Gundam movie.
Yeah.
And because if you notice too, Gundam takes place in the future, right? Post-apocalyptic, where all the countries are different nations,
right?
Competing for control of other land masses. That's exactly. But you've got post-apocalypse. Governments have all failed, and it's basically corporations that are vying for different plots of land, different resource-rich plots of land.
Right.
So it's great fun.
It's a good movie.
It's so dumb.
But it's great. Oh,
love it. I love it.
So good.
So that's the other thing. We're having a lot of fun in there. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Now on to today's topic. The topic du jour. I was going to prepare for this.
We tried this week, guys. We actually did try to prepare this week. I even made documents in our share file to like give us a script kind of thing to follow, so we didn't go too off tangent, and it just didn't happen. Life kicked us.
Life today. It was great.
Life liked a lot this week. It was weird.
But we're going to talk about some of these special effects that we've seen in some of these movies. They're absolutely great. I feel like there's two genres of movie that really push the boundaries when it comes to special effects, right? And one of them is horror, right? And the other one is like fantasy sci-fi. Yeah, those kind of adventure movies.
Yeah,
right?
Well, because they're creating stuff that really isn't real in life, right?
Right.
It's not. We all know, unfortunately, lightsabers are probably never going to actually be a thing. We're dreaming, but it's probably not going to happen.
Don't put that negative energy into the universe.
Sorry,
my friend.
Anyway,
please don't.
But we want to focus. It's Friday the 13th. Where we want to focus more on the horror side.
Yeah.
So, what is your horror movie experience? How do you like horror?
So here's the thing. I used to love watching. I love horror movies. But I love the ones that are like that are done well. Yeah. Right. Like okay, and I know exactly the response I'm going to get right now. But like Evil Dead. Hey. I know it's kitschy and tropey but it was entertaining. It was fun. I did not enjoy the Saw movies. They're so over the top.
Saw didn't do it
and
for
disconnected. Me either. It was just like you've got this entire building that is now full of water. And then 2 seconds later, when the police show up, there's no evidence that anything ever existed. Stop. Yeah. Stop. It doesn't make sense. It's gore for the sake of gore. Yeah. I
love the horror movies. They're fake, obviously, right? I don't think you're ever going to actually get
Klaatu Verata.
I don't think you're ever going to get, a Michael Myers who apparently can get shot 77 times and still keep and doing whatever.
What do you
mean? Because he is the devil himself. But if the horror movie doesn't have some semblance of reality,
it's suspension of disbelief, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's obviously parts of Halloween. Halloween is probably one of my top franchises.
Ezio brings up a great question. What about horror sci-fi.
Woo, we're going in a whole other realm there.
That's I would just call that a subgenre of horror, though.
I mean, it kind of is. But I mean, when you really look, let's look at one of the greatest horror creators of all time, Tim Burton. No, not Tim Burton.
I was just gonna say, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
I know you're not saying Tim Burton right now. You're talking about the. No, I know who you're talking about. No, you're talking about the guy. He did.
Why am
Freddy.
I blanking right now?
He did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
What is happening? Oh my God! Life is lifing. Take another drink. You need brain.
I need
juice.
more.
For those of you who know, I am doing a sober month. I'm doing sober September. Wes Craven.
Craven. There you go. Thank you. Hey, Westland.
So right now, yes,
we need to pay attention to our comments more.
We need to look at our chat. So I'm drinking Mountain Dew. I got the Voodoo in the Geeky Tiki.
Yes.
In the Tiki room. You know, when we go back to Disney, we need to go to the Tiki room. You know that, right?
Have I not been to the Tiki room?
Have you not been to the Tiki room? I've not been to the Tiki room. That's why I want to go.
Anyway, revert. Yes, Wes Craven. Thank you. There is always a semblance of reality behind everything he does.
Or it's like based in
realistic
setting.
Yes, but then you're looking at, when you're talking sci-fi horror, I think you're thinking more like When Mars Attacks.
I don't know, sci-fi horror. Like I could call like Alien the sci-fi horror.
You could call Alien sci-fi horror. Yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah, Alien and Predator, sci-fi horror. There's a lot of pops and jumps.
Yeah. Well, in the first Alien movie is so suspenseful.
Oh my!
It's a masterpiece. And this is actually a great kind of segue into the effects, right?
Yes,
because you've got
it's the one thing we love about these movies is the effects.
Right. So you've got Alien that came out in the 80s, and it was all practical effects. There was no CGI available. There is no.
I like it.
There's no green screen. There's no CGI. There's nothing like that. It's all practical. They built the ship as a set. They built to go through. And then when John Hurt had the xenomorph bursting out of his chest, that was a practical effect. They had it rigged up so that it could actually do that.
Yeah.
And fun story. You ready for this? So think back to that scene, right? When they're all eating and they're all cheerful and everything like that. The actors on set were saying, we knew something was going to happen because there's plastic draped over the camera. So we knew something was going to happen.
Didn't know
they had no idea.
That's amazing.
No idea. They had everything in the script that talked about it bursting out of the chest was redacted. They couldn't see it. So that scene was basically improv, right? Until John Hurt got the signal. And he started convulsing and freaking out. And then when it popped out of his chest and those guys are screaming and terrified, those are sincere, genuine reactions.
That's probably one of the best effects ever, though. Whenever they make the actors have it. So another great one, this isn't a horror movie, but Pirates of the Caribbean, the third one, I want to say, when they're in the balls made of skeletons and they're trying to climb the cliff. When the one that falls and snaps, didn't tell a single guy in there they were about to fall 20 feet. Didn't tell them. They thought they were going to fall and kind of swing.
Oh, no.
Did not tell them they were going to just keep falling. And they fell probably it was 10, 20 feet before they caught them. So those are genuine. Oh my gosh, this went wrong. I'm about to die. Can you imagine doing that?
I love that. I love moments on set. I love moments on set that are so real.
You're just like, that
you freak out. But see, here's another aspect of this. I don't know if you saw Long Legs.
I didn't watch it. I've heard a lot about it.
So dumb.
It's not great.
That's what I've heard. That's why visually, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Visually, it is an absolute.
My wife watched it. My wife is a huge horror fan. She loves horror to death.
Visually, it's a stunning movie. Story. It's terrible. It makes
that's what I heard.
But Alicia Witt is in it, and Alicia, I love her. You may know her from the Dune movie. Way back in the day, she was the young child. She was Paul's baby sister who came out as a Kwisatz Haderach. It's great.
Mhm.
And Nicolas Cage was in it.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where the main girl is interrogating him, and he ad-libbed the entire scene.
Wow.
Right? And then he starts beating his head into the table and screaming and doing all.
Yeah.
It really freaked her out. Like really freaked her out. Like they've got her on camera. She's just like, like it was a true response, and she had to go to a therapist afterwards.
Well, those are the roles that really freak people out. Look at Heath Ledger in The Joker.
Oh,
like he would have made a more amazing career after that drove him to death.
The final movie that he was in, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, was great. And you could tell he was not in a good place when he made it.
But that's one effect that we love through. It's the genuine, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. Yeah. Well, that is going on when they actually scare the crap out of people. Most jump scares in movies, they don't tell the actor that's about to happen.
That's true.
Just so they can get that genuine effect. Hopefully they get it on the first take.
I like to, when you start looking, so like kind of going back to Alien, right? Because you've got different kinds of horror, and you kind of jumped into it. There's the jump scares.
I got you. Murder, running,
and then there is the suspense.
Yes,
there's the suspensefulness of it all, like what's going to happen. Now, a lot of times I say they cheap out and use a jump scare in those suspenseful moments.
Sometimes,
but something that Alien did really, really well is they really like leaned into that suspense. It was really so good.
Sorry.
It makes for such a great movie when you can really just sort of play around in that moment and not know what's happening. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories when it comes to a practical effect that was used on set is in Night of the Living Dead, the original one from the what was it, the 1960s, I think it was. You have zombies surrounding this house, right? And there's all these different. Oh, we're being joined by a puppy. Hi, Lumi. Do you want to come up? Say hi. Come on. Nope. She's like, no, I'm going to sit.
I'm going to stay down here.
But we have these zombies running around. And they're, circling the house, and everybody's inside the house freaking out. It's a great little, once again, another practical effects, no CGI, no nothing. But did you know there's a scene there's a number of scenes when zombies are like eating meat and stuff like that. Not only is that real meat, but they got real like intestines and heart and different pieces of things. And they had the actors actually bite down on them and eat them to sell the drama, so to speak. So,
wow.
Go watch Night of the Living Dead. First off,
good movie.
Amazing movie.
Great movie.
Fantastic in every way. It was done so well. But just the fact that you have actors as zombies, because even the zombies looked like I've got white makeup on and I'm just walking around. It was a black and white film.
Yeah,
you didn't have a lot of like which what do you do? Like you can't have naked people running around. You can't have people with their brains hanging out.
Yeah, you
can't do it, right?
Very conservative kind of era.
Yeah, it was very, very strict in its ratings back then. And so what can you do? What can you do? You can't open someone's brain up or have someone's eyeball dangling out. Hey, let's show them eating. And so I think that was like a really creative way to do that. Oh, we have a demand from chat.
Puppy.
To see the puppy. So
Lumi,
come
here.
Let's see if I can get her up into my lap. She's big, but she does love being a lap dog.
She is a giant lap
dog.
Come
here. The chat wants to see you. Oh, you brought your bone. Come here. Come on.
Up.
She's not going to get up. Oh, I'm going to have to pick her up.
We got a big old Lumi. Oh, she's just a baby. Love you so much.
Do you want to say hi to everybody?
She's like, no, I'm just chilling.
She's like, I really don't. This moment of geekiness brought to you by the geekiest puppy. By the way, her name is Lumi.
Lumi.
She is named after the Jedi Master Luminara Unduli.
Yes. Little loom looms.
Give her the little bread massages. Okay.
Old lady looms.
This puppy. She is an old lady. She's like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah, not 100% sure.
But she's still young and spry and happy.
Oh yeah.
So is there like a special effect from a movie that you love that you think is just like?
I just love like even the thought. So when you look especially back in practical effects, one of my all-time favorite quotes of all time now, Ryan Reynolds said the downfall of creativity is money. When you have so much money, you can literally do anything. You're not creative anymore. And he says the movies that rely so much on CGI and like making sure every single little effect. Yeah. And I think it really came from when he did the first Deadpool. They didn't have a lot of money for that movie because nobody actually thought it was going to
in it.
Right. To the point where, oh, I forgot my ammo bag. Yeah, that's because they didn't have money for him to have any more ammo.
That was 100% a budget gimmick.
They had no more money. And, you know, he makes references to it throughout Deadpool 2 and 3 as well. Like, do you know how much this guy cost? Get him off the screen.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I loved part 3. He was like, besides, you know what he was doing to the budget?
Exactly. So that's why they killed him off. So, you know, there's always the lawyer's death scene in 13 Ghosts. I don't know that one.
Have you not seen 13 Ghosts?
I don't think so.
Oh. Wasteland Sniper, go into the Discord and add that to the list. Yes. Maybe we'll watch that one because it's a spooky season.
Oh, a spooky season.
And we'll watch that one soonish.
But when you look at probably my all-time favorite horror series, Halloween, Michael Myers. I love the character Michael Myers. I think he's so good. And the people who played him are amazing. And if you haven't seen the most recent ones, Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills, go watch them. They're really good. People trash them. No, they're so good. And like one of the greatest parts of that is his mask, right? That's what makes Michael. Well, what is the mask?
I know.
You know what the mask is. Do y'all know what the mask is? It is a turned inside out Captain Kirk mask.
Yep, it's a William Shatner.
It's William Shatner turned inside out because that's the original mask. Now they've obviously come out with the Michael mask now, and that's what it is. But originally it was just William Shatner's face turned inside out.
I love it. I love it so much.
Which the funniest part when you go and watch the original Halloween, do you realize they literally had to probably buy like 20 or 30 because you see them on the shelf in the store
because they break them. Because
they're like,
no.
When he goes to the Halloween store and they're like, they stole a mask.
Yeah,
that looks like this. They literally had to buy multiple William Shatner masks and turn them inside out to make that effect. I love it. And just simple things like that where you're actually talking a real practical effect is my favorite part of that
one's
movies.
So iconic as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because nobody doesn't know. Like, even if you've not seen the Halloween movies, you don't know. Like, you don't not know that there's a white mask and a mechanic jumpsuit.
Yeah,
like,
you don't not know Michael Myers when you see him in Spirit Halloween.
And it's so. I love there's just kind of beautiful moments like that. I don't think we can talk special effects. I know we're kind of focused on spooky effects, but I don't know that we can talk true genius level special effects without talking about Star Wars.
Oh no, absolutely not. Especially the earliest movies.
That's where I was going to go with this, and I want to get even into episode 1 because I know there was heavy use of CGI, but I want to kind of defend CGI a little bit here. But episode 4, right? A New Hope. Once again, everything was built. Most everything was practical effects. Even like the lightsabers, they had sticks with high reflective tape around them so that the lighting would reflect, and all they had to do was go in after and like manually color on like the lightsaber colors. Now you wonder what the inside of William Shatner's face looks like.
Let's go turn out the inside out the real one. Yeah, I'll probably end up on a watch list.
Okay, Michael Myers.
Michael doesn't till skin off. That's Leatherface.
So the come on, Leatherface is based on an actual guy.
Yes, I know.
Do you know who his first victims were? Mormon missionaries. Not kidding. they would go over to his house, help him, around his house and help him do things.
Took their skin.
Then they got him to get baptized, and one day they disappeared, and it was like, what happened?
Where'd they go?
Yeah,
He puts the lotion on the skin.
Pretty grisly and grim story.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a real thing.
It's
a very real case. Go look it up.
It is. A lot of those horror movies, well, when it comes to the serial killer horror movies, a lot of them were based on someone.
Yeah, some kind of form or like a mixture.
Hannibal was based on Jeffrey Dahmer, wasn't it?
Slightly, yeah.
Slightly. I mean,
yeah. It references the Jeffrey Dahmer without straight up, because back then as well, like it's not like today where there is and I have my opinions on this, but there is kind of an idolization of certain serial killers.
No, not certain.
Very specific serial killers have they have a fan base, even though they're obviously pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he was loosely based, but back then when the first Hannibal came out, if you came out and said that I'm making a movie based on Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody would look at you like you're freaking crazy.
Well, and there was even when they did make the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, the actor who played Jeffrey Dahmer was like, he went and talked to the families of the victims and was like, hey, just so you know, we're doing this. And because he wanted to portray Jeffrey Dahmer accurately, but he also wanted to respect the families of the victims.
100%.
Please. Let's do that. Sounds great.
Anyway.
But when it comes to the special effects, kind of getting back to the special effects there, the sounds of the lightsabers came from these radio tubes for projectors.
Yeah.
And as they would power on, they would make that hum.
Yeah.
And then the guy just recorded himself swinging it around.
Mm-hmm.
Did that. He had I forgot what the other sound effect was for igniting and turning it off. But he had two other sounds for that. There's 5 or 6 different audio clips that he put into building the sound of the lightsaber.
Right.
The blasters. Do you know what they use the blasters? He put a microphone up on a steel cable that was really tense, and then they would hit him with the little mallet, and it would go pew, pew, all the way down the cage, and it was great.
That's actually kind of
or it would go all the way down the cable.
Yeah.
And then he would capture that audio, and then they could clip it for as long as they wanted it to be.
Right.
You ready for this? Here's another fun one. And this is in James Earl Jones, who passed recently. Mm-hmm. Very sad. It was not good.
All right.
But he's one with the Force now.
Yes.
And if you look on YouTube, there is a video that has clips of Darth Vader, but it's David Prowse just speaking the lines. Because David Prowse is the actor that was inside the suit.
Yeah.
And he did speak the dialogue so that the other actors could
they just used a voiceover.
But he didn't but he was never intended to be the voice of Vader. No. So they got James Earl Jones to come in and do it, right? So James Earl Jones recorded all the lines. It was great. They got a scuba apparatus and they slowed it down to get the breathing apparatus. Then they took both of those lines, both of those tracks of audio, and played them in a large echoey room, recorded that, and that's why you've got that sound like Vader, behind something like this. That's how you got this sound, because of how they did it. So once again, there was 4 or 5 different audio processing techniques to get the voice of Vader.
And even just the audio for any movie, when you look at older movies, how literally they would sit there and watch it, and as the guy's walking, they would take shoes and go,
yeah.
So you would hear the sound effect of them walking and things of that nature. Do you know what the original roar of Godzilla is?
No.
It is the director's front gate. As he would open and close his front gate. They just recorded that and kind of messed with it and made the roar of Godzilla.
That's great. See, there's something so magical about. That's right. You got 2 empty halves of coconuts and you're banging them together.
Where'd you get a coconut here? Found it on the ground.
Immersion, the coconut's tropical. We could do that all night.
We can literally quote the entire Monty.
Oh, we could.
Monty Python.
It's not pretty, or maybe it's really pretty. I don't know.
Depends on your audience.
I was going somewhere with that and I forgot. I got distracted with coconuts. I don't know.
Anywho's a water.
What's it's? No, sound sweetening. Well, sound sweetening is something they do in every movie, right? You'll have, if they get into a fight or something like that, there's someone there with a sheet just like, doing all this
or
stuff.
punching a punch bag.
Yeah. They do all this stuff. They record it. They add those audio tracks. They supplement, things. There's clips of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine breathing heavy and screaming. He's in a sound studio and he's breathing heavy and screaming because they supplement the sound that they capture on the set with audio that
for the sound of water buffalo.
OMST3K never change. We love you so much. They had some of those guys at FanX a couple years back.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty fun. I got to meet them.
That'd be cool.
Got autographs and everything. I got proof of it somewhere.
Ooh, somewhere.
But so even when you get into like horror, oh yeah. So even when you get into horror movies, I remembered another effect I wanted to. You get some interesting creativity because again, in the 80s and even in the 90s, a lot like horror movies were sort of the redheaded stepchild of movie genres.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because people wanted to watch them, but only deviants watched those movies.
Right.
That is disgusting. We're talking about a generation and a time in which Dungeons and Dragons was conflated with Satan worship.
Right.
And where Satan worship was something that was legitimately concerned over. Like people were legitimately scared of Satan worship.
That's the lie.
Right.
Let's face it.
But it was interesting because you've got these movies that have come out, so nobody wants to do them. It's very niche. It's very cult.
That's where you really had those actors. You see those actors who did every single horror movie multiple times in a row because they're the only ones who would do it.
And so as a result, you get these extremely low budget films with these very creative practical effects.
Yeah.
And even the more famous ones, they still had that old feel, that old practical effect feel. I loved Nightmare on Elm Street when we killed Johnny Depp. He was laying on his bed.
Yes.
And Freddy comes in and pulls him down through his bed. And all of a sudden, blood comes spouting up, filling up the room, only in reverse. Well, that was great how they did that. He was laying in the bed upside down. Like they had like the whole room upside down. And they pulled him through the bed. And then they poured all the blood through. So what you had was blood was not spouting up. The whole thing, the room and the camera was turned upside down. So they were just dumping blood through this hole. And there was blood just waterfalling. And it looked like blood spouting up.
That's cool. That's actually
again,
a cool effect.
Like they get so
creative with
awesome.
It. Yeah. Or in what is it? Friday the 13th, killing Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah.
People forget he died. He was original dead. That's probably one of my favorite things too. The kind of tangent off blood effects.
Yeah,
the effects of blood in all these. One, we all know there's multiple movies where that's not there's no humanly possible way there's that much blood in the human body. Which actually, if you look at any movie like Django, do you know he purposely makes it that bloody?
Yeah,
for the fun of it.
Oh yeah.
So
no, that's kind of Tarantino's calling card. He loves excess. Like Kill Bill is the same way.
Yeah, just loves all the excess blood.
Is great.
Yeah. But you look at blood nowadays, it's like a cornstarch with like a mixture of water and like super red dye. But look at original black and white movies that needed a blood effect.
Right.
What was what were they using?
Oh yeah,
Chocolate syrup. They used chocolate syrup.
Alfred Hitchcock did that in the
Um,
famous shower scene in Psycho.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all
Norman
chocolate
Bates comes
syrup.
in, stabbing, and he's squeezing
Chocolate-
Hershey's chocolate syrup, and that was shocking.
Right.
That was shocking. Oh my God. People were like terrified of that because it was so realistic.
It's literally chocolate syrup.
It's just chocolate
It's
syrup.
just chocolate syrup. I'd love if you could like redo it and make it color now just to watch that scene and just see chocolate syrup.
Iris Bear brings up a great point as well. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh.
What a classic.
Would you like some white meat? Would you like some dark meat? Would you like an arm? I'm good.
I love that movie.
Oh
I haven't
my.
seen that movie in years. That movie as a child, that movie was actually scary to me. I was scared of that movie.
I didn't see it until I was maybe 15 or 16.
And I keep in mind, I grew up in a time in which that movie was an animated series, an animated cartoon series, Saturday morning. Saturday morning
Really?
cartoons, baby. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Didn't
Look
know
it
that.
up. It's the dumbest cartoon ever, but it was great, and I loved it every morning. Along with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was the cartoon as
Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
well. I lost my train of thought again.
You know you're
Anyway.
on camera, right?
Yes, I know I'm on camera.
Thanks,
100%.
thank you, Kelly. Kelly pointing out that we are in fact live and
Our live studio audience actually showed up.
Blood effects. We were going blood effects. We
Yes.
did Alfred Hitchcock in he's using chocolate syrup. You know, that's another thing I was going to bring up is in the black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had it easier in some ways to cheat,
Mm-hmm.
but I still think it's more difficult in some ways as well.
Oh, 100%.
Because you like what I was just talking
You
about with
needed
Night of the Living Dead.
a consistency.
Like how do you make the zombies scary? How do you get an audience to be afraid of the zombies
right.
when you're black and white and
Actually,
low
got a fact on that,
resolution?
so hold
You
on.
can't do a lot of that. Like you have to have some gimmick, some thing that gives them the fear. And in
Right.
Night of the Living Dead, they had them go eat actual meat and actual, organs and things like that. And it was gross and nasty. Nowadays, they're just like, let's
Yeah,
make
whatever.
a fake body with organs in it and pull it apart and splatter everything everywhere. And it's
Which
great.
is great.
Which, I mean, it's great. We love it.
Yeah.
But, there needs to be more to it.
Did you ever notice in the fun fact for the TV show like The Walking Dead, where they literally had to do so much makeup for all the zombies? You'll notice like 90% of the zombies all wear long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
So they
Yep.
didn't have to do extra makeup.
It's weird. Wait a minute. You guys live in
They
Georgia.
all died in long
All
sleeve
of
shirts.
you are wearing hoodies. This is weird.
But that's how it had to work. I thought I had it on here.
What in your mind, what is probably your favorite example of a movie special effect that you don't think gets enough love? Do you have one?
I'm sure you have one.
I have many.
I'm sure
This
you
whole
do.
episode is just my ADD pointless knowledge episode right now because I'm
Oh, yeah,
loving this
because
right
it's
now.
so much fun. An effect that doesn't get enough love.
See, like the one that I used earlier for Alien,
Mhm.
where the chest bursting scene happened,
Yeah.
and they didn't know about it. Like that's one of my all-time favorite.
I really
effects.
think, like I said, I really think it's those effects that have to be pulled off by a person, and you don't know. So, a fun effect I've always loved, not from a horror movie, but the Gerard Butler Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
When they initially walk, him and the Phantom and Christine walk through the hallway after they went through the mirror. Did you ever notice that all of the torches move to get out of their way, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever notice those are all actual people's arms holding the torches?
No, I never.
Yes.
did.
If you watch them closely, you can see them kind of do this because they're just holding it out because they're literally doing this through a wall,
That's awesome.
trying to hold a torch,
and then they just go.
and then they move their arm out of the way
That's awesome.
and then pull it back because they didn't have the budget movie to get like mechanical anything
I
or anything.
love that.
So you can literally see all of them are doing this,
I love
like
that.
moving up and down
I love that.
because
So
they're
one
struggling to hold this torch.
one
So
of my-
those effects that have to be a person and have to be timed so perfectly to get the shot are always underrated because people don't notice them.
One of my favorite effects that a lot of people are not going to go, and I really do feel like it needs some more love. The original Addams Family TV show, right? Thing, the little hand, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have CGI. They didn't have green screen. Once again, it was black and white, so there was a lot that they couldn't do. So Thing usually popped up out of a box and did something and then went back in the box. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The hand of the Thing is the same actor who played Lurch, the butler. So he would put his right hand up for Thing. And if he had to be in the same scene, there was like another person that would come in and do it real quick. But he would, most of the time he used his right hand. But every once in a while, there's a few shots where he uses his left hand. And he did it on purpose just to see if people would notice. Now, I ask you this. If that were to happen today, that would spawn a whole Reddit board of theories.
Absolutely.
Thing isn't a hand. Thing is the house. You never see him outside the box.
Right.
And there's two hands and it's the same entity. Like but it's such a minor special effect, right? It's so small in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. You wouldn't think about it.
You would never think about it. But nowadays we got people that tear these things apart. I love it.
It's
and
so good.
I feel like that's
fan
one of those
theories about all those things are so great.
I feel like that's one of those effects that should have got more love, but because that show was so ahead of its time, it just didn't. Also, here we go, Iris. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. Never confirmed in the original television show.
See, not actually the house.
That's what we're gonna. You know what?
Get out.
Two geeks, one mic. Right here, saying it first. Fan theory, Thing is the house.
But that's in the original.
In the original. And the house.
Because if you look at like Wednesday that recently came out, it's kind of obvious Thing is not the house because Thing is everywhere.
Absolutely.
Right. Which, another great fact, that is somebody's actual hand the entire time through Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
And I go and look at behind the scenes stuff for Wednesday, he puts himself in some of the most awkward positions to make sure his hand is up in a place,
to make sure it looks good.
Where it looks good. And then obviously they had the fake stump coming up top. So he's sitting here like this, but still doing everything, which is amazing.
Yep.
So
it's a hand
hello,
model.
Mary.
Hello. So yeah. Also, fun fact to know and tell: the Addams Family house itself, if you look at color pictures of it, bright pink, bright yellow, like super, super colorful. But because they were filming in black and white, they had to get the contrast on the color palettes correct,
right,
to make it look like it was that dark morose sounding that is so iconic for the Addams Family.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, small budget.
Yep.
Small and supreme creativity with the
go binge it,
effects.
Iris. It's amazing.
Yeah, Iris, you would definitely love Wednesday.
Love hey,
congratulations!
Congrats, that's awesome.
That is way awesome.
From 2 Eagle Scouts.
You.
We did that too.
We give them the Eagle salute. You got to give them the Eagle salute.
Oh. So yeah, practical effects that have to be real. I think especially the ones that make you go, "Holy crap! Did that just freaking happen?" Like, how do they do that?
Or the ones that make you go, "Wow, did that guy actually lose his leg?"
Right?
Like
it looks legit. And there's the ones where they would take guys with prosthetics and be like, "Oh, chop off his arm, cool. He could actually lose his arm."
So
it's fun.
And so that's the thing. Like I know. Like I guess this is a good time to bring this up too, because there are two different kinds of practical effects when it comes into that. There's those that are just obviously fake,
right?
Just obviously fake. And
when you're bleeding for 3 minutes straight,
like Evil Dead is one of these. I love Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead 2. There's a scene where the witch lady grabs the ankle and
Mhm.
stabs the pencil into the ankle, which I cringe every time because God, just a
Ow.
pencil in your ankle, like that would hurt.
It would hurt.
And
That
but
suck.
it's the easiest, cheesiest, stupidest thing where you can see it's
Yeah.
fake.
Mm-hmm.
Because first off, there's no way a pencil's making entry that easily
Right.
into human flesh. Secondly, you're not going to have clear blood, like clear maple syrup looking blood coming out, and it's not going to spurt out all over the place.
Not from an ankle wound.
Yeah, like so you just gotta roll with it. You gotta it's fake, but you're leaning into it, and
Yeah.
sort of the concept is
Mhm.
still there, and it's a lot of fun like that. And then there's the ones where you're going, holy crap, like what just happened? That looks real.
Yeah.
Like that looks scary.
And sometimes when you look at older movies, it was. Whoops. I mean, The Crow.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
They didn't know he had actually been shot.
Yeah.
And he died. Jordan? What is his first name? Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee. Yeah, in the original Crow.
He bled
Not the
out
one that
on
just
set,
he bled
yeah.
out on set because it was the scene, and you'll see it in the new Crow too, which is amazing. Go watch it. I loved that movie
Where
so much.
he's going. It's the where
He's
he's
walking up,
rocking across the table,
and they're
right?
just shooting him. And there's literally so much fake blood that they didn't realize he was actually bleeding, and he bled out.
Crow. That's such another great movie.
It's a good one.
I love
And
it
then
so much.
I will say, probably controversial to some, but the new remake that just came out is actually really good.
Is it?
With Bill Skarsgård, yes.
Okay. Well,
so good.
I love the Skarsgårds. Like they're all great.
They did it justice in my mind.
That makes
They
me
did it
happy to hear.
justice. Yes.
That makes me happy to hear.
I loved it. Go watch it. It's really good. I'll put it on the list. We'll watch it.
Yeah. Well, that's not the reaction list. That's
Well,
the movie review list.
Yeah.
Which we're going to
We
be
have
doing
another
we're going to be doing a
list.
whole other segment where we're going to be doing movie reviews. It's going to be so much fun. Kelly's going to be heading that one up. What was I going to say? You made me forget. You got me all excited about The Crow, and now I can't remember what I was going to say.
we talk about real.
Well, whatever. Tell us what your favorite special effect from a movie was. It
Yes.
doesn't have to be horror, but in the name of spooky season, it would be cool if it was a horror movie. And do you have anything else to say about spooky horror practical effects? Do you have anything else to throw out there that you want the people to know that they need to know? No.
I'm out.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna
ADHD shut down.
we're gonna bring up a new segment called Geeking in the Wild, right?
Mm.
Geeking in the Wild, and it was great. Okay, this story, I was out getting coffee one day, and of course I always have to get a pup cup for my puppy because she's the best puppy in the world and deserves all the pup cups. But I was at Dutch Bros in North Ogden, and I pull up, and the lady's there. She's taking my order, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is great. I need a pup cup because my puppy's a good girl. And she's like, oh, what's your puppy's name? I said, Lumi. She says, Lumi, that's an interesting name. And I'm like, yeah, it's named after Luminara Unduli, the Jedi Master, because I'm a total geek. And she was like, as you should be. And then proceeds to tell me that the team there at Dutch Bros has a group chat. And every day, like with the group chat, they have like a different question, right? This or that kind of a thing. And that morning that started out, it was like, she wasn't sure if it was Harry Potter or Star Trek, but she was like, it was either Star Wars or, Harry Potter or Star Trek or whatever.
Right.
And almost everybody on that team was like, Jedi for the win. Jedi, 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 Jedi. So it was awesome to see that our coffee bro baristas and our sis baristas, they're all bros, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
are they sisses and bros?
I don't
I don't know, man. Our coffee baristas, no, they're broistas. At Dutch Brothers, they're broistas. Our broistas at Dutch Brothers in North Ogden are also geeks like us. You guys rock. We're gonna go back and give you guys some wristbands story because we love it. And if you've got a Geeking in the Wild story, shoot us a message and we'll relay it on the channel because that's the kind of people we are.
Good times.
All right, Eamon. Did we cover everything tonight?
I think we did. We did really well.
Everything. We covered everything in the whole world.
Yeah,
Nothing
absolutely.
left. No stone left unturned.
We could be here all day.
We could be here all day.
We
We
could
could.
talk all
It's
day.
true.
We should do a
We could do
24-hour
the
show.
thing. A 24-hour stream. Comment below if you want a 24-hour Geeks
Just
stream.
us talking for 24 hours.
Do you want it? Do you want it? You know you want it.
The looks from the peanut gallery are great.
Yeah, you guys are going to be here to support. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for geeking out with us. Like I said, let us know what your favorite practical special effect was. I just realized I didn't get to defend CGI, but guess what? We'll do that on another episode.
We'll defend CGI. 'Cause
Um,
I'm not saying I hate CGI. I'm just saying sometimes it goes over the top.
Right. Sometimes it does. But we love you guys. We thank you for being here. We thank you for tuning in and geeking out.
There you go. I like
I
it.
promise. Here at Two Geeks, I am Josh.
And I have been Eamon.
And,
Please join us next time. Stay geeky, my friends.